Hey guys, it's Scott with Scotty B Cards, and in this video I want to answer your baseball card hot takes. Baseball card hot takes is one of my very favorite videos to make because I ask you what your hot takes are on the baseball card market, and I will let you know if I think they're hot, cold, warm, wherever they're at in the hot spectrum, and then on top of that I'll let you know if I agree with them and why. Pretty straightforward video. I got all of these hot takes from people who follow me on Instagram. If you ever want to give me your hot takes, do so there. I ask for them periodically and you can submit your hot take. You might end up on these videos. But before we start, if you are a sports card, trading card, baseball card fan, then this is the channel for you. I post 2 to 3 times every single week exclusively about baseball card content, so make sure that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. So the very first hot take, Wander Franco isn't all that. It's a 50-50 split. Some people have seen enough on Wander Franco and they do not think he is all that. I think it's a hot take in the sense that he has not played very much and he's only 21 years old and he's looked really good for a 21-year-old switch hitting shortstop who hasn't really grown into his power yet. The thing about Wander Franco though is he was so hyped up. Yeah, he's not Mike Trout. Yeah, he's not Mickey Mantle. Yeah, he's not Babe Ruth, but man, he doesn't need to be. He needs to be Wander Franco. And the thing about Wander is he's hurt right now in the IL, so recency bias says he's not good. He's not playing. I haven't heard about him this year, but realistically, he's not having a bad year. He still has a OPS plus, I believe, over 115. Derek Jeter's for his career is about 115. And on top of that, he's played better defense this year than last year, and he's still only 21 years old, which is really, really young. So for me, I am not ready to call Wander Franco a bust. And I actually, if I can buy some good Wander Franco cards, I might. You know, everything's kind of dropping in price a little bit. It might be a good buying opportunity, especially since all these different sets like Topps Chrome are releasing over the next few months. Could be a good buying opportunity since 50% of people do not think he is all that. Next up, Stadium Club has the best photography and is highly slept on. If you are familiar with Stadium Club, this is a very cold take because, you know, it looks amazing. Every single photo looks really good. But if you don't know Stadium Club, it could be a hot take because you don't know what it is. You're like, hey, they can't have the best photography. But that's the whole point of Stadium Club, is to be photography centric. So I would check it out. Stadium Club Chrome is making this product even more collectible since it's a new release of Stadium Club. So really excited about Stadium Club, one of my favorite sets every single year, year in and year out. Saying the market is going to crash over and over will speak it into existence. Very interesting take. You know, on the macroeconomic scale, that's not necessarily true, but on a micro scale for a market like baseball cards, it could be true in the sense where if everybody's saying something, we all start to believe it, especially where there's no true regulation. There's no reason why a small group of people can't have the same idea and have things happen. So I don't think that we're going to have everything drop like crazy because of content creators or individuals or anybody discussing it, but I think it could lower things than they should go. Who knows? I have no proof of this either way, but a very interesting hot take. When the card market corrects, baseball will be okay. It's the original base of collectors. I do agree with this. When 2020 hit, tons of new people came into the hobby. A majority of them were not baseball card collectors. They were primarily basketball and football. And because of that, you didn't really see as big of a boom for a lot of baseball cards like you saw in basketball and football. But the thing is, if everybody kind of leaves the hobby, people start leaving that came in 2020, or just people who were sick of the pricing of wax, used to open it for years, leave the hobby, then yes, I think baseball is probably the one sport that will be hit the least hard. I think that baseball has put itself in a very good position for sports cards, and baseball popularity, I know people say it's actually declining. It's maintaining. It's still more popular than NBA. I know the World Series, at least according to the one graphic I saw on Twitter, so that means it's true. That one graphic said that the Game 6 of the World Series last year had more viewership than the Game 6 of the NBA Finals this year. So something to think about. That one graphic on Twitter says baseball is on the rise. People have no idea how to identify actual prospects to invest in. I actually, like, this is a hot take because a lot of people think they're self-proclaimed prospectors. I've taken my shots in the dark and I've been lucky. You know, I bet on Juan Soto and Julio Rodriguez. Those are the guys I really believed in and I was lucky. But there's a lot of players that I thought would be good. Like, let's say Brendan Rodgers is a biased Rockies fan that weren't so good yet. But no, it's true. Just because people are buying a player doesn't mean they're good. And I think we get accustomed to seeing, because everybody's buying that one player, they must know something that I don't. But if you actually look at some of the stats of these players, they aren't that great. But there's some players who are kind of flying under the radar who have amazing stats. Prospecting though, however, is kind of based off of hype. So sometimes if they are the best, they might not blow up until a little bit later. But if you want to make money while they're still prospects, you buy the hype. It's a very interesting point. This person is 100% accurate. People really don't know how to actually look at prospects and know if they're going to be good in the big leagues unless you're very, very good at it. Topps does not care about the health of the hobby. That is a hot take. This is a very good take because I think that's a vibe everybody's getting currently. And I will say Topps, I think, cares more than Panini. Nothing against Panini, but it seems like their quality control, their late release schedules, all sorts of things just kind of have been tough. And luckily, I think Topps does care a little bit more. I think they have a bigger legacy in the hobby. If you think of Topps as a business, however, they only care about the hobby in terms of dollars. You know, they want to make money on products. So just because they raise print runs doesn't mean they don't care about the hobby. It just means they care about profits. They're still trying to have a supply and demand, trying to get everybody as much product as possible that want it while still maintaining high-end releases like Dynasty per se with a patch autograph in every single box. That's the only card in the box. But the point is, I think Topps does care. Topps' whole purpose is to care. Same with Panini. I don't want to bash them too much, but I think Topps has put itself in a good position to really care about the hobby, really care about the history of the hobby, and I think they do a good job. It's so hard year in and year out to keep pumping out 40 releases and not have a few duds along the way. Heritage Real 1 autographs are better than Bowman Chrome base autos. If I had to look at Heritage Real 1 autographs, if you look at Mookie Betts, because I know his market well, don't get mad at me for saying his name in this video. His Heritage Real 1 autographs usually sell for more than his Bowman Chrome autographs in high grades. That's because there's just a lot less of them out there. Heritage Real 1 autographs don't have any parallels aside from the red ink autograph, and that's numbered to however many years Topps has been around since 1952. So I think this is a pretty spicy take because Bowman Chrome is the go-to. Mike Trout would have been the perfect person to look at, but unfortunately he did not have a Heritage rookie card in high number in 2011. I don't believe Heritage high number really existed in 2011. Could be wrong, could be entirely wrong on that. I just did not heard anything about that set, if it does exist, because it must not have been that cool. But overall, I do think that Bowman Chrome autographs are more recognizable, but the Heritage Real 1 autographs are such short prints that they do carry a premium. So a reasonable take, if you bought Heritage Real 1 autographs over Bowman Chrome base autographs, I would not think you're crazy, and if anything, I think they probably look a little bit better. PSA deserves the premium with customer support and good design. This guy woke up and chose hot. He chose hot takes. He chose violence because this is a very hot take. For me, I have to look past the fact that my PSA submission has been there since March of 2021. I am about to move, and I didn't even know I was going to be moving in March 2021, and my cards aren't back yet. I don't know how I'm going to even manage all that. It's a tough situation to say they have good customer service and deserve a premium when they haven't been able to keep up with the backlog. And I know, and they got flooded more than anybody else. That's why you can't compare SGC to PSA, but it's still tough to really say you're doing great PSA when my cards have been there for so long. You kind of feel like you're held hostage a little bit, especially because everything's dropped so much since they've had our cards. But they do have a lot of good things about them. They do have a premium when it comes to value, so for that purpose, they should have a premium. On their customer support side, they're really hard to reach for a lot of stuff unless you're emailing them about issues. You know, if you email them like say, hey, my card got sent to the wrong person, they'll take care of you and they'll make sure they compensate you well. So that's a good customer support aspect. But the fact they're pretty hard to really get a hold of for the average person like me who's been waiting this long is tough. They do have a good design of their label. Some people could say it's too simplistic and not very impressive, while others could say the simplistic part is the impressive part. It's such an opinionated thing to say, but this guy risked it all and put it in this video, and I'm proud of him for releasing such a hot take. Good job. The impending market recession will cause card values across all sports to drop. I think it already has. I think some sports have been hit harder than others, and I think other types of players have been hit harder than others. But overall, a majority of baseball cards, if you want to put them into asset classes, basketball, football, baseball, if you want to put them into prospects, veterans, Hall of Famers, you can do whatever you want, vintage, modern, ultra modern. I think a lot of them have dropped, but that doesn't mean everything has. There's still good buying and flipping opportunities in the current hobby. I think there always is going to be. We just might have to work a little bit harder to make some money. I wish there was a channel out there that discusses some ways to recognize that. Hint, hint, Scotty B Cards, hit that like button. But overall, I think everything will drop a little bit lower. Personally though, out of all the doom and gloom I've seen on YouTube, I'm not too concerned about it as much, probably because I'm not putting my whole life savings into sports cards, which you probably should not be doing either. You know, I'm not your financial advisor, so this is not financial advice. But if I were to give you financial advice, I would look at sports cards as fun and maybe as a little bit of like alternative investment. Don't put your 401k here, guys. Last hot take, Paul Goldschmidt, future Hall of Famer. Yes, hot takes over. See ya.